From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. When you need a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, durability, simple deck height adjustments, and a professional-grade cut, then you need the Kubota Z400 mower. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 48 months or save $300.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.
Good morning, everyone. Well, let's get you right to Kruger's Quick Cast so you can head out the door, know what to expect here on this August 28th. Of course, it is Wednesday. It's hump day. And of course, we're looking at those temperatures. You know, it's a tad warmer out there in those early morning hours here. You can see about 71 degrees at 8 o'clock this morning in the valley. We're talking mid to some upper 50s for some of those mountain locations, although in Modoc County around 50. Trinity County temperatures around 60 degrees. So again, just depends on where you are. Taking a look at Futurecast, and really not much going on here. We don't even have much way of cloud cover even along the coast. So we're still going to be looking at plenty of sunshine here throughout the day today, and not to mention even over the next several days. So for today, yeah, we got up to 100 degrees in Redding yesterday, and I do anticipate we'll be looking at temperatures 100 degrees or higher in many cases for the valley for today, with temperatures in the 80s, some 90s for some of those higher elevations, and around 70 degrees, give or take, for the coast. So when we look at the 7-day outlook, yeah, it's going to remain hot for the valley in particular through Friday. At least upper 90s to maybe just a little over 100 degrees here through Friday. Still pretty warm to start off the weekend, but by Sunday, we're back down to the low to mid 90s, low 90s, even possibly even some upper 80s on Monday for the valley. So for your Labor Day weekend, starting off fairly hot, but it is beginning to cool off before we actually start to warm things back up again as we go through next week. That's the overall trend for everyone, including the coast, where we're going to be upper 60s to around 70. Temperatures do drop, though, a little bit for your Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. But inland, Weaverville going up, back down into the weekend, and then back up here for parts of early next week. For Mount Shasta, Alturas, Susanville, temperatures will kind of peak sometime around really Thursday, Friday, before we see a dip in our temperatures. Low 80s for Mount Shasta and Alturas, mid 80s for Susanville on Monday, but then the temperatures should start to go right back up as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, that's Kruger's Quick Cast. Now let's go into our deeper dive forecast, and we start with our weather headlines. Now, the summer heat, it has returned, especially in the valley. You may have noticed it, and that triple-digit heat in the valley will probably last for the rest of the week. But we do have the cooling trend, as I mentioned, going into the weekend, but really no major heat wave still is what it's looking like here when we look at the long range. All right, the latest on the Park Fire. This is, as of last night, almost 90% containment. So we're getting closer and closer to that full containment here for the Park Fire. And we're continuing to see that containment go up higher and higher. That's also the case for the Boise Fire, although we haven't seen it change much over the last 24 hours, still at about 43% containment as of Tuesday night, last night. But hopefully as we go into this morning, we do start to see some new numbers for the Boise Fire, and hopefully those numbers go up, at least in the form of containment numbers. You know, we don't want to see those acreage numbers go up. But there you can see the winds today, you know, a little breezy at times for some of us, but overall, we're not seeing very big wind events. You know, when really over the last several months, we've usually seen in the afternoon hours a lot of the green and even a little bit of yellow on the map indicating 20, 25 miles per hour. But you can see here today and tomorrow, that's not going to be the case, which means the winds are expected to be a little bit weaker than we've been experiencing. However, still very low humidity, down into the single digits today. Once again, really for the valley, and then going into your Thursday, it looks like it may be even a little bit drier. So that is going to mean increased fire weather risk. You see the yellows, even a little bit of orange in the valley for today with that southerly flow of winds. Moderate to high fire danger is what we're looking at there. As we go into your Thursday, now again, the wind's not changing much, but we are seeing slightly lower relative humidity. As a result, we're starting to see more orange on the map for the valley, getting us more into that high category. But you'll notice elsewhere in the mountains, it's not as bad. We're in that low to moderate category, so that certainly is good to see. But But this area of low pressure right here, it continues to shift off to the east, really not having much of an impact on our weather, and hasn't. The only impact it's had really is that it's kept our temperatures down just a tad, but now that it's moving out, that's not going to be the case, and we'll continue to see those fairly warm temperatures. Now, looking at futurecast, not seeing much in the way of fog here. As we go into tonight, maybe a little bit of patchy fog around Eureka, but overall, we're going to see maybe some fog coming in from the south, but for the most part, staying to our south. So that means even for the coast, we are looking at plenty of sunshine over the next couple of days. And looking at the long range, remember I was talking about that potential maybe for some of that monsoon moisture creeping in and maybe bringing a chance for a few thunderstorms for the mountains. Now it's kind of backing off on that. Both the European and the GFS, or the American forecast model, don't really have any showers or thunderstorms in the forecast in the long range. But the long range is keeping us fairly warm, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's moving on out. We've got high pressure, which is kind of building in over us right now. And that's why it should be over 100 degrees for many of us in the valley through at least Friday. But as we go into the weekend, that heat gets pushed off to the east by this very weak area of low pressure. It's warmer air that's kind of pushing on through, so temperatures are dropping, especially as we go into Sunday and into your Labor Day. Then we go into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and then that cooler air rides up to our north. This heat kind of stays to the south, but as that area of low pressure kind of moves on out of here by Sunday, Monday, temperatures are going to increase a little bit here. But I don't anticipate the temperatures to be quite as hot next week as we're going to be looking at the next few days. So again, we're talking about how the summer heat is returning. We saw that nice break over the last 2 weeks, really longer than that, for over 2 weeks, with temperatures below normal, below 100 degrees. We finally broke that stretch yesterday with a high of 100 degrees yesterday in Redding, and we will keep that stretch of 100 plus degree temperatures at least through the rest of the work week before temperatures start to dip again. We're in the low to mid 90s for Sunday, Monday. They go back up, but again, nothing terribly unusual for this time of the year. Upper 90s to maybe even right around 100 degrees by the end of next week. So yes, a bit of a roller coaster ride, but at least we're not seeing any major heat waves heading our way. Looking at the wave heights, they are still fairly high for today. The good news is, if you do need to be on a small boat, the conditions should improve here as we take you into your Thursday. So here's a marine forecast. North winds at 15 to 20 knots, waves from the northwest at 8 feet at about 8 seconds. There's your high and your low tide. Still that small correct advisory here for today. All right, here is your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. 95 Lewiston, 94 for Trinity Center, 98 for Big Bar, and 92 degrees for Ruth. So yes, it is warm even for Trinity County. I think we're going to be hovering around the upper 90s to about 100 degrees here through Friday, and then temperatures do dip as we go, especially the second half of the weekend. Your North Coast neighborhood forecast to the south, 79 for Blue Lake, 97 degrees for Garberville, 76 for Shelter Cove, 72 in Ferndale. You get the idea. It's kind of a big spread here between the inland areas and the coast, but at least we're still seeing those fairly mild temperatures. And this is pretty warm for the coast. Crescent City, 72 degrees. I mean, typically you're in the low to mid 60s here, so 72 not bad, 93 degrees for a high in Gas Key. We take you out to Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast where temperatures will mainly be in the 90s, but again, some of those cooler spots in the north and east will be in the low 80s for Doris, McDowell, and not to mention Tennant as well. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, low to mid 80s for today. 85 degrees for Alturas, 85 for California Pines, and can be about 85 degrees. We take you off into the eastern mountains, 80s, some 90s in there as well, about 91 degrees for Susanville, 90 in Janesville, 91 for Kronberg. There you can see Quincy about 94. So temperatures kind of creeping up, and then they kind of go back down again for Sunday, Monday, and even into Tuesday. Your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, Chico, a high of about 99, 100 degrees. We're kind of splitting hairs, right? 98 degrees for high today in Corning, 96 degrees for Elk Creek. Take you up north, about 101 for Redding as well as Cottonwood, Red Bluff, 101 for Palisadro and Lakehead. 101 seems to be that magic number, with the exception of Whiskeytown at about 96 degrees. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. And you can see, of course, as we approach the holiday weekend, we are eventually going to see temperatures begin to drop. So we're starting off on Friday with 101, 99 on Saturday, Sunday back down to 94, and the coolest day of the next 7 days, and really the next 10 days, will be Labor Day with a high of 91 before temperatures start to kind of creep back up again as we go into Tuesday and even Wednesday of next week. That's your morning update. We'll be right back here at noon.
Cottonwood Small Animal Clinic is one of the only clinics in the area that can see your pet same day and for evening emergencies. We're always striving to improve the care that we give to your pets.
Here at Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic, we have 10 brilliant doctors here to provide your pet with amazing collaborative care, from not only your dog to your cat, but also your gecko, your horses, your goats, and your cows. Come on down and see us. Both clinics are located in the heart of Cottonwood.